Chad Estes along with Diana Estes and Brent Frigel live here in Mount Vernon, Missouri. The annual Bell Bowl between Mount Vernon, the host, and the visiting Aurora Hound Dogs. And Brent, when these two teams get together, it's always a joy and a treat for someone.
Oh yeah, this rivalry goes way back, and I know you have some stats on that Bell Bowl.
Yeah.
But you know what? For the Hound Dogs, for the second time in this short season, we take on a top 10 ranked opponent in Class 3A. It's going to be a tough one. Seneca first week, and now number 7 Mount Vernon. Tough way to start a year.
Yes, sir. You are listening to the Hound Dog pregame show. It's brought to you by MFA, where they have just about everything in the farm, or for the farm, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 and 8 to noon on Saturday. Stop by 1104 East Church Street. That's MFA in Aurora. And yes, it is time for the Hound Dog pregame show. Peeking outside, it looks like about 27 minutes on the clock. Beautiful night here in Mount Vernon, Missouri. And Brant said it, the top of this schedule has been rather brutal to the Hound Dogs, where they faced a top 5 ranked team. I think the last ranking Seneca was 3. Run into a very good Cassville team. That game was, we'll talk about that later. It was an obtainable win last week, but they're undefeated. And then now coming to 12 miles to the county seat, so to speak, here in Lawrence County, face a very good 2-0 Mount Vernon team. And last year they did get the Bell Bowl back, Brant, and it was a close game, but they did get the Hound Dogs. I believe it was 24-7, if I can recall right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 24-7, and that score seems a little bit worse than it really was, because Hound Dogs had their chances last year. They made a couple, I think they stopped us inside the 1 yard one time. So the Hound Dogs really had an opportunity last year. So you can take the records in the past and you can throw it out the window. When Aurora meets Mount Vernon, man,
it's on.
It's on, yeah.
Like Donkey Kong.
That's right.
So the keys to victory. The keys to victory are brought to you by Thunderbait Car Wash on Elliott Avenue in Aurora, Missouri. A clean car is a happy car, and every day is Thunderbait Day at Talon Media. And Brant, what are some of your keys to victory coming in tonight? Yeah, they don't do high school spreads in high school football, but on paper, yes, the Hound Dogs are definitely also the underdogs tonight.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Defensively, it's going to be tough, Chad. This is probably one of the most balanced teams that we will face this year. We went down to Seneca. They were predominantly a ground and pound team. They had a two-headed monster back there that just run it down your throat. Mount Vernon can beat you on the ground. They got an all-state running back, and they can beat you in the air with an all-state quarterback, right?
Yes.
What we got to do, we got to stay disciplined. We got to get in our lanes, and you got to know what your job is, and you got to know what your keys are, and you're going to have to play as a team to beat this team.
Yeah, 2 years ago, the Hound Dogs come over here, and last time they were on this field, they won, I believe it was 26-7, if I remember right. And some of these juniors, factor backs for Mount Vernon, Johnston, Dodson, some of these guys, they were thrown in the fire, so to speak, and started as freshmen on varsity because just a couple years ago, Mount Vernon was 1-10, and they were rebuilding, so to speak. So some of these juniors that are definitely big players also kind of put a star next to that junior because they're a third-year high school player, but also a lot of varsity Friday night light experience.
Well, I'm telling you, they went 1-10, then they had a rebuilding year, quote, my air quote, you can't see it on the radio.
Yeah.
But they went 8-4, and they almost beat the district-favored Seneca.
Yes.
It was a 21 ball game, and they lost in the last few minutes of that game. I think there's 8 minutes left in that game. So, yeah, that was their rebuilding year. This year, they ain't rebuilding.
No, already top 10, or was it, last I saw, number 7 in Class 3. And anyone familiar with the Big 8, I would talk about how tough the Big 8 is, but also Tom Cox is definitely a familiar coach and foe for most of these folks in the Ozarks.
He is, and you know, dadgummit, he's such a great guy, but he's from Mount Vernon, and I don't want to root against him because I can't root for him, but yeah, Tom Cox, he's a great coach. He's a great guy. It is what it is, right?
Yeah. Last year, like Brent said, 8-4 overall. The last regular season game, they lost in overtime to Reed Spring, who ended up being the Class 3 runner-up. And then in the districts, lost at Seneca, which we've already experienced in this year. Hard place to play or win, but they lost 25-21, and Seneca ended up being in the semifinals of Class 2. But now some of those same teams, Mount Vernon, Seneca, they have came back the enrollments to Class 3, and we'll be talking about that as well. But this is also a district team opponent as well, Brent.
Well, like I said, we played 2 top 10 ranked teams in the state in Class 3A, but yeah, all 3 teams that we played, all 3 teams are 2-0, and all 3 teams, you guessed it, are in our districts.
Yeah, right now, Class 3, District 6, Aurora, Cassville, East Newton, Hollister, Mount Vernon, Reed Spring, and Seneca. And in case you were wondering, yes, every one of those teams in Class 3, District 6 is Aurora, one of Aurora's opponents. There's 7 teams in that district, so the top dog and top seed will be getting a bye in the first round.
And I know it's early, but they do have some seedings out, and Mount Vernon's number 1 so far, Seneca 2, Cassville 3, and Aurora's all the way down at number 6 in that, right above Hollister.
So, like we talked about, the keys to victory, one more time, was brought to you by Thunder Bay Car Wash on Elliott Avenue in Aurora, Missouri. A clean car is a happy car, and every day is Thunder Bay Day at Talon Media. But, yeah, Brent, this is a big game, and not only old school rivalries. Talking about some of the old school rivalries, I had to go down since I'm not saying well, they earned it last year, but they got the Poss Jackson Bell Bowl trophy back. So I had to go down the track and take a picture on both sides of that trophy. It has a lot of the inscriptions on the games. So we come up after tabbing it up so close. It looks like all the way back to 1919, Mount Vernon, and this is regular season Bell Bowl, folks. Some of these times, these 2 teams have played in the postseason, but the annual Bell Bowl Poss Jackson Trophy, that's what this is. So it is tight. Going all the way back over 100 years ago, Mount Vernon has won 41 times, Aurora 38 times. There were a few years with no records, no teams, etc., and then it says they tied twice. So like we talked about, we weren't just fooling around here. When these 2 teams, sometimes it's like a teeter-totter, back and forth. Some decades, one town may have so-called owned that decade, but then it looks like there's been a lot of back and forth.
There is, and it doesn't matter the records. I know back when we played them in the early 90s, they beat us. They beat us in the Bell Bowl when we were juniors, and then they beat us in district. And guess what? Next year, we beat them in the Bell Bowl, and we beat them in districts. And that's what it's always been, Aurora and Mount Vernon, one of the best rivalries in the state of Missouri, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, and like I said, over 100 years, and that's on the football side. But we have experienced it 30 years ago ourselves, back in the 90s, played against these guys. And one of the coaches for Mount Vernon, Johnston, Gavin's his boy.
Yeah, starting quarterback. Gavin Johnston is his boy. That's who we played against. His dad, Chris, was the quarterback back in the 90s.
Yes, so we are familiar with the Johnston name as well, but this should be a good ball game. I tell you what, you're going to hear a lot of local sponsors throughout this broadcast. We appreciate each and every one of them because me and my wife and Brent could not come over here and do this production without local sponsors, folks. So you will hear from some of them, and if you see them out and about, please thank them for bringing Hound Dog football to you, and we appreciate each and every one of them. We want to remind folks about the app. The Apple and Google phone app sponsor is Mercy Hospital. Mercy Hospital Aurora, where your life is their life's work. At Mercy Hospital of Aurora, where quality care matters. So we want to tell folks about the app if you're unfamiliar with it. We have a lot of different avenues and ways to tune in to hear or see this game. So you can go on the antenna at KSWM AM 940. You can also keep KSWM with you wherever you go. Take your phone app with you to the game, day or night, for local coverage of high school sports and local news. You'll find the KSWM app in the Apple and Google Play app stores. You can also go to radiotalon.com and stream it that way. And then you can also go, if you want to watch it and have the internet and the capacity to it, you can go to aurorawebtv.com and tune in as well. So it looks like there is under 20 minutes left. We'll step aside real quick and pay respect to some of these sponsors and be right back with the starting lineups after this. national anthem. The national anthem is brought to you by King's Auto Service. King's Auto Service is locally owned and a proud Hound Dog alumni. King's Auto Service is your local import and domestic specialist. Give them a call today at 417-678-5454. They're open Monday through Friday till 5 o'clock, 417-678-5454. Also, we want to thank Access Family Care for a sportsmanship reminder. They're our sponsor for that, and we'll remind folks of that after the national anthem. So they are saying a prayer right now. And we are getting ready for the national anthem, so I'm going to take my headset off and try to get the mic out the window. Once again, that national anthem was brought to you by King's Auto Service. King's Auto Service is locally owned and a proud Hound Dog alumni. Give King's Auto Service a call. They are your local import and domestic specialist at 417-678-5454. That's 417-678-5454. Once again, the sportsmanship reminder sponsor is Access Family Care. Access Family Care with locations in Aurora, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Neosho, and Joplin.
All right, Hound Dog football fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're showing a positive example of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. Making a conscious effort, you'll be helping a student grow into a better citizen. This message was brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association, the Aurora Hound Dog School, and Talon Media Network.
Thank you, Brant. Once again, that sportsmanship reminder was brought to you by Access Family Care, where they have locations in Aurora, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Neosho, and Joplin. Still 12 minutes on the clock, so we are getting closer to the starting lineups here in a minute. So let me find that paper as the Mount Vernon band has just taken off or walking off the field, and neither team is out on the field yet. And I'm sure we are on the Mount Vernon side, so whenever the Mountaineers come out, you'll probably hear a little roar in the crowd here. As looking across the field, though, there is a lot of Aurora Hound Dog fans still filing in, coming around the track. So the starting lineups are, the Aurora starting lineup is brought to you by AFB International. Go to afbinternational.com/careers and start your next career today. And I'll go over the offense, and then I'll let Brant give the defense. So for Aurora's offense, QB1, Thomas Laura, 6 foot, 160 sophomores behind center. The running backs will be Jax Prater and Evan Hartwigson, both 5'9", 165 seniors. Jose Bear is kind of a hybrid. He'll be in and out back there. Also a 6 foot, 200-pound senior. Clayton Jaramillo is the receiver outside, tight end, and he is like the Swiss Army knife for Aurora. Matthew Cutbirth, 5'10", 200-pound junior. Offensive line, the big fellas up front, 6'2", 225 senior Ethan Whitlock. And the number 55, Michael Barrentos, 6 foot, 265 senior. Colton Wrinkle, number 67, 6'1", 260-pound junior. And looks like junior Lucas Hadlow, number 54, and he is listed at 6 foot 215. And then big fella, 6 foot 260-pound junior Clayton Klein. That rounds up the offense. Once again, brought to you by AFB International. And the defense.
All right, time for the heavy hitters. We'll start at defensive end, number 42, Jansen Hunt. Other defensive end, number 74, Wyatt Lawson is a scratch. I don't know if junior Lucas Hadlow will be in his place at defensive end.
That's right, Brent. I forgot to say Wyatt Lawson was a scratch tonight, the offensive lineman, so we did not find out who's going to be taking his place, but we'll try to keep an eye on that.
All right, in the middle, shoring up the trenches will be number 55, Michael Barrientos. Linebacker, number 0, love that number, Jose Ibarra. Another linebacker, number 33, Matthew Cuthbert, had two big games so far this year. Number 34, linebacker Justice Nickel. Another linebacker, number 51, big Ethan Whitlock. Defensive back, number 1, Brody Seitz. Other defensive back, number 4, Clayton Hadamio. Defensive back, number 3, Jax Prater. And rounding up the defensive backs, number 5, Evan Hartwigson.
Yeah, Brant, in that defensive backfield last week, you talked about it in the pregame keys to victory that Gavin Johnson can sling it around. Well, last week, Brody Seitz had his first varsity interception, and then Jax Prater said, make it, take it. I'm a senior, I'll show you too, and he had a pick as well.
Yeah.
So as I wanted to say something about it earlier, each game so far, the first 2 games, we have had a pick 6 against us that the defense has intercepted it and took it to the house, and we're going to try to avoid that tonight also, Brent.
Yeah, but you know what? Last Friday, I saw something happen about the second quarter. I started seeing our offense get a little bit more comfortable. I saw young Laura, our sophomore quarterback, man, he threw the ball, and they started throwing it on downs that wasn't, a passing down. It wasn't 3rd and 12 when we were throwing it. But the coach gave him some throws on first down and second down, and I saw our young quarterback getting some confidence out there. So I look for Coach to open up the playbook a little bit. He's going to have to against this Mount Vernon Mountaineer team. And I think maybe our passing game is going to spread them out, and it's going to enhance our running game tonight.
Talking about that QB1 super sophomore, Thomas Lara, he had his first 3-touchdown night on the varsity level on Friday Night Lights as a starting quarterback. And coming here on the road, that's got to get him some confidence also.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen those guys grow a lot last week, offensively and defensively. Defense got a little swag going in it last week. They did what they had to do. They kind of shut Cassville down. We actually beat Cassville in every statistic last week. We just didn't beat them on the scoreboard where it counts. So.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't hear a lot of that tonight when Mount Vernon scores. A couple of years ago, actually it was 4 years ago, my first year over here, it was constantly all night. But like I said, last time the Hounds were here, they came away with a 26-7 victory. I was here. Diana, that was her first year. So I'm 1-1 as an announcer over here in Mount Vernon soil. Diana's 1-0. You're 0-0. So we got a 67 winning percentage between the 3 games that we've called between me and her.
That's
so
a winning record right
there. Yeah, and we could always use that 93 magic as well. Looks like Mount Vernon is getting ready to come out. I tell you what, we'll go ahead and take another break, pay respect to some more local sponsors, and then we'll be back with some area games and some of the Big 8 matchups after this. brought to you by MFA. Go see them on 1104 Church Street, East Church Street in Aurora, Missouri. They're open Friday 8 to 5 and 8 to noon on Monday. They got everything for the farm. So they are doing the coin toss. The coin toss is brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Dade, Berry, and Lawrence counties. Go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the local number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Brant, and what did you see while I was reading that?
Well, the Mountaineers won the coin toss, and they deferred to the second half, so the Hound Dogs will be receiving. They'll be on your dial. They'll be receiving on the left, going to the right, so Mountaineer will get it back at halftime. So the offense for the Dogs gets to draw first blood.
Okay, well, on the road, that's what happens. So the first quarter coming up, brought to you by Ozark Business Services. For all your tax preparations needs, give Ozark Business Services a call at 417-440-4405, or go visit them at 103 East Church Street in Aurora, Missouri. And they also have a second location here in Mount Vernon, Missouri as well. So Michael Madewell, a very familiar name to me and you, Brant. He's a fellow classmate of ours.
Yep, he's an ex-Hound Dog. Well, once a Hound Dog, always a Hound Dog. Right. But he's part of the Hound Dog family.
Yes, his second, he just opened a second store, and it's at 103 North Market Street here in Mount Vernon, Missouri. So some of the Big 8 games tonight we'll be keeping an eye on here after a while. Lamar and Monette, Cassville and Seneca, Cassville at Seneca. Lamar-Monette game is on KKBL 95.9. Cassville at Seneca, that's on 97.7 FM KQ. 5 seconds into the game, like Brant said, the Hounds will be going from left to right on your dial. They're in black pants, white jerseys with black numbers, and black helmets. And Mount Vernon, and this is going to be a hostile crowd here at Mount Vernon.
Yeah, he's going to have to throw for us to have a chance, because this is one of the better linebacker corps I'd say you have in 3A2. I mean,
7-6-7-8-2-1-8-7, and move the chains. I hope I hear a lot of Pettit Law Office tonight, Grant.
Yep, that was just a nice little play action. Fake handoff.
38, and Evan Hartwigson gets up to about the 39 or 40, so at least a 3-yard gain, Brant, maybe 3.5, depending on where they spot.
Catch up to him later in the fourth quarter. Hopefully it's more on the Mount Vernon side, but as you can see, hand off to Prater.
Hand off to Prater, and he may got back to the line of scrimmage, and it might have been equipment or something, so Hadamio has to check out, and it looks like Braden Allen has to check in. So I think so far, for the most part, we did say that Lawson was out, but for the most part, I think the Hounds have a clean bill of health coming into tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I think they have their core intact. And here we go. We get to see a first
3 or so. It started on the 18, so going to get him 4 or 5, about 5 on that. So that is the first down for the Mountaineers. And if you're just joining us, 7-12 Yankovic, just eat it. Eat it. Oh, yeah. 2nd and 15 from the 18, so officially a 5-yard loss. 6:40 and counting here in the first quarter. Trips to the right. They ended off to, I believe, Dodson. Okay, so a 43-yard line. Fumble on the play. Gavin picks it up, and he gets around the corner and makes something out of nothing. The start on the 44. He fumbled the shotgun snap.
Up to the ball and running the ball quick. They are kind of like, not a no huddle, but, man, they are.
Dodson gets the carry to the right side. Counter for a couple. It started on the 15. We'll wait and see when the pile clears. 4-yard carry on the play. So now they are already in the red zone. They can get another first down. Can Mount Vernon about the 5. So 2nd and 6 from the 11. We'll see what this defense can dial up here. Under center is Johnston. So 5:06 left here in the first. Ryder. Damp. Where'd he go?
Damp.
D-A-M-P-H. Or P-F. Okay. So that makes it 6-0. That was a 10-yard?
10-yard.
10-yard.
Line up for the PAT. There's the snap, and the kick is up. And it is good. 7-0. Mount Vernon Mountaineers strike first blood with 5:06 left in this first quarter.
So Mount Vernon takes it right down the field. 90-yard drive on that. Probably had a bad taste in your mouth this morning, but that's why it's week 1 in the NFL season.
They're going to be okay. They'll get it put together.
All right, so here comes that crowd. once again. Stay tuned. Around halftime, we're going to give away a gift card from a local business here in the Ozarks. So listen at halftime on no penalties so far, Brant, in this ball game.
Well, that was a 90-yard drive there, and I'm going to tell you right now what concerns me is Mount Vernon made that look easy right there.
Yeah.
Running, getting what they wanted on the ground, getting what they wanted in the air. Coach better make some adjustments.
Over into about the 15, 20-yard line, and looks like McKinley first went for it, and I couldn't tell who that other one was. Brant, was it Brennan Diaz, number 25?
I don't know, but they ran into
it. Was the freshman.
It was the freshman. They ran into each other.
They did.
Going in after the ball. We're lucky to get that one back.
Yeah, both of them wanted to make a play. That was a decent kick by the kicker. So it looks like we're going to start
about the 24.
Once again, not bad field position for the Hound Dogs. As we'll keep an eye on field position moving forward here. 4:59 left. Mount Vernon in the first quarter. Mount Vernon 7, Aurora 0.
So maybe Laura's going to take a shot because look at all these Mount Vernon guys. They're creeping towards the line. But right now, Laura's the only one in the backfield. We're going to throw 2 times in a row. He's going to take it, and he's going to run.
Oh, takes a hit.
Got about 4 yards there, but man, did he take a hit.
What?
Bring up 3rd and 1. He picked up about 4 there.
Wow.
Bring up 3rd and short. I don't know who made that hit. I think it was number 34, Julian Hernandez. Came from the...
Laura gets the handoff to Hartwigson, and he does fall forward.
I think he got it.
Looks like he did.
But, Chad, when they come out here this next play, look at these linebackers, man. These linebackers are a yard behind the defensive linemen, and they are coming every time. We're going to have to do something to slow down that blitz. Coach Cox is bringing the heat.
Well, Jefferson swats a bounty and gets almost up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
And that started on the 35, and that was a good-looking draw, run by Laura. Don't know if it was designed, Brant, but that.
They're going to go 5.
All the way back
I
to
don't
the
know
30?
what that was.
I didn't see the initial. Did not see what the call was. 1st and 15 from the 30.
So that wipes out the play.
I did not completion. So.
Yeah. 2nd and 15 here. Coach has thrown the ball more. Laura's done well. Right now, Laura has completed 5 out of 8, so pretty good throw, but nothing deep. We're going to have to throw something over the top to back this Mountaineer defense up. They are bringing it every single time, and it's just man-on-man coverage.
All right, 3:08. That did stop the clock left here in the first quarter. 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line for the Hounds. He does fake the handoff. He's looking to throw. He throws to Evan Hartwig, and that was big time, Brant.
Yeah, that's a 50-yard gain right there.
Once again, that first down brought to you by Pettit Law Office. Give them a call for all your local legal needs, 417-678-2187. And we may be a timeout here, as there's only 7 on the play clock, and let's wait and see who called that. Mount Vernon. So Mount Vernon calls the timeout. The timeout sponsor is Heller Heat and Air. Give them a call for a fall furnace checkup at 417-678-0402.
So 2:44 left in the first quarter, 7-0 Mountaineers. Hound Dogs are driving. Normally that 1st and 15, that penalty that called that big run back for Aurora began of the year. These are gross. So Aurora breaks the timeout early. Mount Vernon.
You know what they want to do? Looks like some of the other area games tonight. Webb City at Republic. That ought to be a good matchup. Neosho at Carl Junction. Branson at Willard. Carthage at Nixa. Ozark at Joplin. We'll get to some more here after a while, but first things first. Looks like 1st and 10 from the 17 officially here.
Laura's all by himself. Here comes Jaramillo in motion to the near side. Out route, and not a well-thrown ball there. Maybe it was tipped.
Well, it didn't look like it got out of his hand very good there, Brant.
Yep, already 10 pass attempts in this first quarter. Still 2:40 left for Laura. He's 6 for 10.
All right, so that does stop the clock at 2:40.
Laura already has 80 yards in the air tonight, so good job by the passing attack of the Hounds. I told you they're going to have to open it up against this defense.
All right. So
Mount Vernon still creeping those linebackers out. 11 in the box. Roll out. Not much there. Throws it up to the corner.
Evan! It was intercepted
in the end zone.
Intercepted in the end zone by Dominic Schnelton. Yeah, that's the third pick on the season there for Laura, but he was going one-on-one coverage in number 23. Looks like Dominic Schnelton, 175-pound junior, and that's a big turnover there. So I see something on the field that
so it will be a turnover there. Mount Vernon will take over at the 20-yard line, and here comes the track meet again. This quick repetition, this quick offense for the Mountaineers takes it. Gavin will be back in the shotgun. Dotson is beside him at running back. Here's a snap. It will be a quick screen out to the right. It's well blocked, and it's another 11-yard pickup.
Cut berth on the tackle, and Prater sandwiched the receiver. As that was number 22 again, as Jake Leeper, who said his name a couple times tonight. So once again, another first down for the Mountaineers. That takes it up to the 31-yard line.
Back on the ball, here we go.
Trips to the left, and they're throwing a screen to Leeper. He's got a couple blockers out there. Gets across the 40, and it looks like a Prater on the tackle, but that's going to be close to another first down, Brant, as they can do it through the air or on the ground.
Yeah, they found something here with this quick wide receiver screen out to the edges because they ran it one way, came right back to it, and ran it the other way. Mount Vernon already with 6 first downs in this first quarter, 2:10 left in the first quarter. Back in the shotgun is Johnson. Dodson is beside him. We've got trips to the far side. Let's see if they'll run this wide receiver screen again. Look for him to fake it and go up top sometime. If those safeties of the Hound Dogs start to cheat to come make the tackle, you'll see that. We got another flag. I don't know who that was on.
We'll wait and see here who that penalty is on.
I think maybe Mountaineers got a quick start on that.
Encroachment on the Hound Dogs. So that's the second penalty of the ball game. Both of them against Aurora?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Keep an eye on that. Still just here in the first quarter as the Hounds on the road. Had 2 called against them so far. That shortens it up to 1st and 5 from the 46-yard line of Mount Vernon, and now they do hand it off to Dodson. He hadn't done that much there as Barrentos spins him forward. Bear hugged him with the tackle, but Hunt was in there as well, and a good sportsmanship, letting each other up. Yeah. But a good tackle by the big fella, Barrentos there.
I think they hit him in the backfield, and Dotson carried him forward for 2 yards. So hard to bring down, so low to the ground, hard to stop.
Yeah, his freshman year, he is a well-rounded athlete for the Mountaineers. 2nd and 2, and here comes Dodson's number, and he does fall forward. Who tackled him here? Let's see. It's like Hartwig's in on the tackle, and once again, Cutberth. He's been pretty active also, Brant. But another first down. That gets across midfield to the 47-yard line of the Hound Dogs, and now that's a couple hands on the hips here as this defense has been on the field a lot this first quarter, but Tom Cox knows what he wants to do.
This up-tempo offense just wears the defense out. They never get a chance to catch their breath. Here we go, trips tight to this side, and there's the pitch. Nope,
fake action. Throwing, he's going for it all. Number 15 is there. Evan Hartwig's on the tackle. Let's see, that's Braxton Horton all the way up to about the 36. So that's another, 11-yard gain or so, Brant. Another moving the sticks, and now at 48 seconds, they did stop the clock. 7-0, Mount Vernon leads here in the first quarter, brought to you by Ozark Business Services.
Back on the ball, trips to this side.
Trips bring up 2nd down.
Johnson had a little pressure on him that time. I don't know who that was.
I was watching the receiver.
That may have been Jansen Hunt back there when he rolled out to this side. Jansen wasn't fooled by that fake and got right in Johnson's face. Still a good throw. That ball If it wasn't for Hartwick's coverage there.
Kind of thrown against his body, too, there, and still had some spin on it.
Yeah.
So that stopped the clock at 35 seconds. Still on the 36, second and 10, trips to the left for the Mounties, one to the right. And Johnson is going to throw it, and he finds a receiver across the middle on a slant. He gets to the 20, and he's down.
15.
I'm sorry, it's on the 20, but let's see who that was because he's up slow. Number 30, Brant. That's Pendleton. That's Pendleton again.
So just a bunch of good athletes out here at receiver for the Mountaineers. On the ball again. Mount Vernon doesn't huddle up 2 yards off the ball. They call the play, they get up there, and they snap it. 2 receivers each side here. Dotson in the backfield. Fake screen, there it was.
Going all the way.
Hartwick's on the Hartwick's.
He's got a little space to 15, up to the 20, and Evan, there's a flag, but that might have been a face mask, Brant, but good job by Evan as he picked it off. We'll wait and see, but it might have been extracurricular on the return, but the defensive back for the Hound Dogs.
The flag came after the interception, so there's not going to be a change of possession.
I think it better be a change of possession.
Well, for
Aurora.
Right, Aurora's going to retain the ball.
Yes.
Mount Vernon first. I think you were right, Chad. I think it was a face mask.
Yes, it was a face mask. So that penalty is brought to you by the Garden Exchange, where you'll never, ever be penalized for holding their coffee. Visit them downtown at 22 East Olive Street in Aurora, Missouri, and maybe at the end of the first quarter. Brought to you on your dial. 7-0 with 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. And the clock does not run, so Laura gives it to Prater, and he has no room as he tries to get out of there. But Aurora going from right to left on your dial, starting up 2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line. No gain on that last play of the first quarter. So in shotgun formation, he hands it off to Jack Sprader. He has some space as he gets across the 35, and then he's knocked back a little. We'll wait and see. And one receiver to the right.
Here comes the pressure. Here it comes, right up the middle.
And he's looking to throw it. He throws out of bounds and just gets rid of it. The intended receiver was Cutbirth and Prater in the name there. It looks like Lucas Hadlow. So now one on the play clock, and they do bring pressure, but it's off the side of the foot, but it does take a Hound Dog bounce at the 30, inside the 30, all the way to the 25-yard line. So once again, Brant, not too shabby of a punt, and that wasn't one of his better ones.
No, when you get
turf, so it took a little turfy bounce as well. So the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, Brant, and it may be in Johnson's face. Yeah, as it feels like to me. They'd be thrown in the wind here. Trying to look for.
I see Old Glory blowing down there, and it's kind of swirling, I guess. It's not really giving us any indication which way it's going.
2nd and 10 from the sideways runners there. I thought Dodson got it, but no, Johnson faked it to Dodson. So now 3 receivers back to the right. Now Dodson in motion again, and this time he does hand it off to Dodson. He has a little bit of room, and he's tripped up by Prater. 8-4-2-1-0, and we appreciate each and every one of our sponsors. And 10-20 and counting here. 1st and 10 from the 40, and there's a whistle. And so far, Mount Vernon has played a perfect ball game. No penalties on them, right? Yeah, no, they did have one. They did have one. Yeah, the face mask. On the
official just sent Justice Nickel off the field for something. I don't know if it was equipment or what.
Okay, that's why he blew his whistle. So has there been 2 penalties on Aurora and 1 on Mount Vernon? So pretty clean game played so far. And that's to say in this rivalry, right, bro?
That's right. They haven't seen all the business that goes on at the bottom of those piles, I guarantee you.
All right, hand off to Mount Vernon back, and he's got room. That's Dodson again as it started on the 40, and he just carried Brody Sykes with him a couple extra yards, and he got across the 35, and he said it. He's a big load. And
that's 8 carries.
He's listed at 185.
Yeah. That's 8 carries for 84 yards, averaging over 10 yards a carry, closing in on a 100-yard game here early in the second quarter.
Yeah, Hounds are going to have to figure that out. So Johnston hands it off again to Dodson. He's got a room around the left side, and he goes forward and falls inside the 20 to about the 12.
Yeah.
And the Hounds have no answer. Johnston in shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side, and why not? He fakes the handoff. A good job, sack, and that's number 42, I believe, Jansen Hunt in there. Is that time they used Dotson as a decoy, Brant, and Johnston just had to eat it again.
Yeah, I think if I was in the second quarter and my running back has run for 104 yards and 10 carries, he's not my decoy. I'm giving it to him inside the red zone there. But they chose to keep it with Johnston, and it looks like a loss of 5. Good job by the Hound defense and Jansen Hunt.
Second to the right side, and is caught. That grabs the foot of the receiver. That was Brody Size, held on for dear life. Got a minimum gain on the play. It was third. Now it's 3rd and 8, so they gave him 7 on the play. Fine. Big down here.
Empty backfield, spread 3 to the far side.
Dotson motion. The hand. No, Johnson
keeps
takes it up the middle, and is he in?
Touchdown. He is.
I see sirens.
About 11 yards. 8:10 left in the second quarter. Already 10 first downs in the half. Dotson is 104 yards with 9 rushes, and let's see how many yards is Johnson.
When they faked that handoff, that time he took 2 dogs with him, and Johnston went up the gut with that fake handoff, RPO up the middle for an easy score.
Yeah, so many athletes right now on the Mount Vernon team. Had a big return last week.
He's one of the faster hound dogs. He's got some room up the gut, and he gets to about the 30. Justice Nickel went down there. I'm glad to see him get back up. So McKinley had a head full of steam going downhill, and he did get up to the 30.
We only got about 14 yards on the ground.
So now Laura in shotgun. He does give it to Prater around the sweep, and there ain't nothing there.
Prater's going to lose about 5 on that one.
23. Might have fell forward for a couple. Yeah, Mount Vernon's got some big fellas up front. We talked about it. They did give him 2, but now is that blitz package coming again with Tom Cox?
Oh yeah, he's going to bring the heat. And hopefully, what he's hoping is he'll and Mount Vernon recovers.
Dotson just hammered him as he never saw it. And nobody picked up the blitz on the weak side. And Dotson's been a man amongst boys out here so far. And Hounds didn't even get a chance to punt there. And now 6:34 left here in the second quarter. And
Mount Vernon's going to get the ball on the 22-yard line. 23, they moved it back a yard. That's Aurora.
Show me properties. Dotson in the backfield with Johnston, and he does hand it off to Dotson. He almost gets tripped, but somehow he still stays on his feet, and he's in the end zone again, but there's a flag.
We're going to have a block in the back here. It's not going to count.
Wait a minute. Take the sirens away, as there is some dirty laundry on the field, so not so fast. There's another flag that just got dropped. So let's wait and see here. As Mount Vernon is marching back. That looks like a block against Mount Vernon. So take that 22-yard scamper. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So where are they going to take it to? Outside the 20, Brant. About the 18 or so.
Yeah.
Spot foul. So that, once again, penalty is brought to you by the Garden Exchange. Make the right call. Grab a nice coffee with cold foam at the Garden Exchange. Go see them tomorrow. And tomorrow's a big day for them. A lot of fall event. But 22 East Olive Street in Aurora, Missouri. It's the end of the summer event for them. And they're going to have a petting zoo and a lot of things going over there. I believe it's from 9 to 3 tomorrow. 10 to 3 tomorrow. All right, so Johnston gets it. Now he's going to throw it. Jansen Hunt gets some pressure on him, but it's caught by 15 inside the 5. And does that's old Braxton Horton again. Let's hit the brakes. As that may be on Mount Vernon again. Well, we'll wait and see against who. There is a flag. You can throw your flag. Ineligible man downfield once again against Mount Vernon. So the Garden Exchange said.
The one takes away a 15-yard reception that would have put him on the 2-yard line. So Mount Vernon moving backwards here, still first down.
about the 24, it looks like. So first down and 12 inside the 20. Still, one of his worst runs of the night, getting five on the night.
Yeah.
So the Hounds.
And he finishes every run. There's no running out of bounds. There's no getting down before contact.
This go, Brant. I think that probably took him over the Century Club.
Oh, yeah.
If he wasn't already there. So they're going to say first and goal from the 6.
Yep, that puts Dotson at.
In to go, partner. Mount Vernon gets the ball to start that second half.
Well, we got to get some yards here, because if we don't, we're going to be kicking it right back to them, and they're going to have decent field position. And with this offense, I mean, it's like a track meet. They can get it.
Here from Mount Vernon before halftime. We'll be right back after this. And we are back. So Hounds take over first and
Just a little bit. These short passes, Mount Vernon's starting to come up quick.
15 on the play clock. Laura does come back from the sideline with the play. 8 on the play clock. He's in shotgun formation like most of the time as I bear in motion. And here as, nope, on that false start against the Hounds. So they're down there in the shadows of the end zone are the Hounds. It was 2nd and 9 from the 7. So they're going to step that off as I'm looking for them. I need to turn that light on maybe here. I can't see. Oh, give them a call for your fall furnace checkup. Oh, maybe not yet. 417-678-0402. Oh, it does. I forgot about that.
What?
When we flip that, they do a light show.
Yeah.
So that's a freeze frame. Okay, I forgot about that. I got told that. But yeah, 1 and another flag. And that's probably illegal procedure against the Hounds as well.
Yeah, I tell you, every time we go into motion, every time we do a shift, Coach Cox has this team ready to go because they're shifting right into the run play. They've watched a lot of film, and so far they have this dog offense diagnosed.
Yeah, and a lot of penalties. I don't remember last week. I remember the first week, each team, Seneca and Aurora, had 11. I can't remember how many the Hounds had last. It's 3rd and 14 from the 2. And talking about Jaden Carpenter, got that fumble recovery a minute ago.
Yeah.
You need to get some yards to give him some space here because it says 3rd and 15 from the 1
Yeah.
to the 1 or 2. Oh, they said safety. Okay, I thought he got out of there. So it's a safety.
Laura lost a couple on that play. I thought he got out of there too, Chad.
Yeah, it looked like he did, but so 3:19 in the second. I don't know if he was in speech and debate back in high school, but I don't think he's going to win that argument.
Well, I've never seen an official after they made a call to say, "You're right, Coach. We're going to back that up and take it away." So
he got an
but
explanation.
he can get his point across.
He did. The white hat did come over and listen to him for a minute, but he shook his head and didn't get the words he wanted.
Yeah.
But most importantly, that makes it 16-0. Technically, it's still a 2-score ball game. Obviously, you got to put some mustard on a couple touchdowns, Brant, for those 2-point conversions. But we got to find a way. Well, it's a double problem.
Yeah.
Stop Mount Vernon and then learn how to score.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
They've been dialing up tonight.
We have 86 total yards of offense. Dotson by himself has 114. So, and Johnson's thrown for 100. They have 233. So, it's not a good picture right now. I'm sure we're going to see Mr. Carpenter with the magic
space and about the 50. Wait to see who that was. 25. I guess we are going to have to play flashlight games, aren't we? 25. That's Ryder Demph again. They're going to give him 10 or 11 on the play.
And that's another receiver there.
Grayson
Gann.
145-pound junior, first time.
That's his first catch. That's his first catch
on the completion for Johnston. But yes, another pitch and catch and another completion. So clock moving, 2:10 and counting. He hands it off. Need to quit here before halftime.
No, they don't. They got trips out here to the right. Johnson's throwing again.
Looking to throw.
Screen up the middle. Lots of blockers.
Dodson's 5, 10.
He is, but man, when they set up that center screen, there was nothing in between the blockers and the end zone.
2nd and 4 from the 19. So
you give Dotson that kind of green, and it's automatic.
All right, so he's in shotgun.
Up 16-0.
Third
bring up
8
third
from
and 8.
the 23-yard line, and this is big because that timeout was Mount Vernon's call. Well, 25 Dimps again, huh? So that hurt because that's what, 35 seconds left.
Yep.
Before half.
35 seconds left before half, and I haven't seen the other powerhouses.
No.
I mean, Lamar's going to be Lamar.
That's 2A though.
And Nevada's playing good this
class 4.
Yeah.
So we will get to see, whoever we play in week 10, we're going to see them sometime between week 1 and week 9. We do know that much. So now at 35 seconds, I can't tell. There's something right in between that. Camera's like right in that.
Yeah. And they're going to go for 2. They come back out with their offense, keep their kicking game on the sideline. Maybe. Yep. Here we go. Line up. Shot under center. Hands it right up the middle. Dotson ends with ease.
And Aurora couldn't. So Dotson.
So 24-0. 35 seconds left. The Hound Dogs will receive this kick, and I'd say they are just going to run the clock out and get into the locker room.
Yeah. Talk about regrouping here.
Yeah. I think Mount Vernon's offense, they are clicking tonight, but they have every week. I think they're averaging 32.5 a game. No one's stopped them so far. They played Hollister, and last week they played Monette. Is that right? I think that's right. I'm not for sure, though. But no one's been able to find the answer to stopping this offense so far. So the Hounds hung with them for a little bit, but right now it's all Mount Vernon going into halftime.
Yeah, it has been rough. They beat Monette 42-7 last week.
Yeah.
7-0 after 1, and they've piled on 17 more here in the second quarter. A couple touchdowns with a safety in between. So a 24 is at zeros. So we are going to step aside and come back with some stats, some scores. But your halftime score, Mount Vernon 24, Aurora 0. We'll be back after this. And we are back. Halftime show brought to you by gift card. As soon as I get the name of the winner, we'll announce it so we can stop calling. But the first caller at 417-489-2277 will win a $25 gift card from Talon Media. And we can. So I'll just go let folks know about that right now. So scoring in the first quarter, Ryder Danforth with the 10-yard catch to make it 6-0 in the first quarter. Dodson with the 2-point conversion made it 24-0. That's where we are, partner. Give me some positivity here on give me some stats.
Is 13 for 15 with 134 yards. That's incredible.
You know,
and they're not slowing down.
No, it's 24-0, Brant, but got to give Johnston, but he's getting some different receivers involved also.
And it all starts with this Mount Vernon line. They are playing a heck of a game. They are pulling. They almost remind you of Lamar on some of their pulls. They're pulling the backside, kicking out on our guys. Dodson, we just got to say what's happening, and we don't have to figure out how to stop it because I have no idea at this point.
Yeah, you know, and I'm tired of hearing sirens also. No fireworks, but I'm tired of hearing that bell, and I'm tired of hearing sirens. Speaking of the bell, the Poss Jackson Bellbow Trophy, once again annually, is up for grabs, and it's been residing over here in Mount Vernon since last year when they came to Aurora and took it back. Yeah.
Mount Vernon will receive this kick. We'll see what adjustments Coach Pitts has made in the locker room to try to slow this offense down a little bit. We're one touchdown away from the turbo clock. We hope we don't see that today. And from here, we just got to play one play at a time. We got to let the scoreboard take care of itself. There's no 24-point play in football, so we got to take one play at a time, and we got to capitalize on that. After this week, things get a lot better as far as the schedule goes.
All right, well, you can stop calling because we have a winner, Travis Wittenborn. I think I know that guy.
I know that guy.
He works his tail off down there at the park. He works for the Aurora Parks and Rec. Congratulations, Travis Wittenborn. He had his son a couple years ago that was a Hound Dog football player as well. So Travis Wittenborn is your Race Brothers $25 gift card winner. And Travis, I'm sure Janet explained that to you. You can stop by next week and pick that up. So congratulations to him. So always like it when people participate. That means means somebody else is listening other than our family.
That's right. That's right.
And I got my wife to my right and one of my best friends from high school to my left, and we're still trying to have some fun over here in Mount Vernon, even though I should have probably took a Dramamine before I got here because I am a little queasy here. So let's see. We got 6.5 minutes left, so let's give you some area state-ranked team scores and then some other area scores. So Lamar, that doesn't really surprise us. 26-0 at Monette at half. Seneca 30, Cassville 0. We talked about it last week. Cassville got away with the win, but they didn't impress us as much as Seneca and Mount Vernon so far this season.
Right.
We'll just say that. And all of our opinions are our own. Number 4, Webb City. Number 6, Republic. 28-14. Webb City leads that in a very close ball game. Number 5, Nixa. 14-13 over Carthage. That's in the second quarter. Kabul at Willow Springs. No report. Nevada 13. East Newton 7 at half.
Wow.
Okay.
Watch out for the Patriots.
We'll keep an eye on that one. The Yellow Jacks from Lebanon all over the Pooh from Kickapoo. 21-0 at half. Bolivar 35, Parkview 0. That's in the second quarter. Joplin 7, Ozark 0. No report on Ava Mountain Grove. Some other area scores. Coral Junction 7, Neosho 6. That's at the half. No report on Branson Willard. McDowell County 10, Rogersville 0. That's at half. Last night, West Plains took down Hillcrest 45-12. The Lakers from Camdenton taking down Waynesville at halftime 24-7. Reed Spring Wolves 14, Catholic hanging in there 0 at the half. I'm not for sure if Catholic scored yet this year. I think they're still looking. Marshfield 35, Hollister 28.
No defense in that one.
Slobber knocker still in the second quarter, they're telling us. Liberty 16, Thayer 0. That's it in the second quarter. Houston 14, Salem 7. That's at half. Stockton 15, Ash Grove. That's 0 at half. Clever and Forsyth, no report. Sir Coxley Pierce City, no report. Lockwood, 52. Jaspa, 6. That's at half. Speaking of no defense, final. Greenfield, 78. College Heights, 70.
Holy cow.
Is that 8 men?
Yeah, I think so.
St. Borgia 20. Stratford had to go all the way to St. Borgia, 29-7. That's the second quarter. Central, or maybe it's at Stratford. My bad. Central at Fort Scott. So Central had a roadie tonight, no score. Miller 14 had to go all the way to Cuba. No, that's Cuba, Missouri. That's in the second quarter. Lafayette County 21, Warsaw 19. That's at half. And if you were wondering, I know somebody maybe tipped in over Cole Camp in the second quarter, 30-0. And yes, there is one game on slate for tomorrow, and that is Saturday. Maryville will travel to Ozark to take on Lighthouse Christian. So that is some of your scores and stats. It looks like they're recognizing some folks from the Mount Vernon Pep Club, or I don't know, the cheer club or whatever. So there's still a little over 3 minutes left here before half. I believe they'll put a couple more minutes on as well, because we have not seen either team come out. So once again, we'll listen to some of these local sponsors bring you the game tonight, and we'll be back with the third quarter, brought to you by Manny's Motors after this. And we're back. Once again, you've been listening to the Halftime Show brought to you by the Strike Zone. Go to the Strike Zone for a fun family experience. Enjoy some great food at the 300 Grill and make some great memories with family and friends. Dine in or give them a call for takeout at 417-678-6400. And Brant, we talked about it a little bit earlier. This has been kind of a murderer's row, so to speak. I think Monette could say the same. Their first 3 weeks as they played Lamar and some tough teams, but tonight playing a 2-0 Mount Vernon team, already a 2-0 Cassville and Seneca. Well, next week, Catholic comes to town. Springfield Catholic's 0-2. They're trailing earlier. Then Hollister at Hollister 0-2 on 19.
I think Rogersville's down by 2 touchdowns, didn't you say?
Yeah, yep.
So,
they were.
You know, the rest of the schedule gets a little bit, I'm not going to say easier, but it's not number 3 in the state, number 9 in the state. So,
well, Matthew Cutburst's going to kick off for the Hound Dogs. For your next project, we have a trip to Forge Built True Value on Church Street in Aurora, Missouri. You'll find all the supplies and tools for any project. Give them a call at 417-678-4488. And we have not forced them to punt yet, Brant. But Ed Leahy is also a sponsor here. Ed Leahy American Family Insurance is there to help protect you no matter what your insurance needs are. Give him a call at 417-678-2244. And this third quarter is brought to you by Manny's Motors. Manny's Motors is your hometown auto sales and service. Go by and see them at the at 22 East Church Street across from the Hound Dog Water Tower for your auto repairs and service, or give them a call at 417-678-4466. And what happened there, Brandon?
To start the half, it was a direct snap to Dotson. He took it on a sweep on the outside with lots of blockers. Picked up 5 there, but the Hound Dogs did recover well. Kind of caught him by surprise, but they did recover well and held him to 5. I mean, that sounds like a big gain, but...
well, it's one of his minimal gains, really.
Yes, that is.
As, he had well over the century mark in the first half, and Hound's got to learn to find a way to keep him at bay. 2nd and 5 from the 39. Mount Vernon going from right to left on your dial. And it looks like another handoff. Not much there, but then he gets through that second level to the linebackers, and I think that was Dotson again starting the third quarter here in Mount Vernon, Missouri.
I think you're going to see a lot of Dotson here, at least on this drive. Well, I say that, and then we come out empty backfield. Dotson comes in motion,
and
hands it to Dotson, and another 11 yards.
First down, yep. Let's see who's on the tackle there. Whitlock and Prater, but enough with his hands on his hips. So maybe here's when Aurora can cause some havoc. Johnston got his best weapon on the sideline here. But Johnston 1st and 10, 3 receivers to your right, 2 to the left, shotgun, 1 in motion, and he hands it off to number 35. And not a bad run there, sweep around the right side, and 35.
Downing.
Okay,
he's the other All-State linebacker.
Have to get the flashlight back out for the second half here. Is that Downing?
Yeah.
2nd and 1. So Hounds got to find a way here to stop this Mount Vernon juggernaut of an offense. Dotson still, I believe, on the sideline. Maybe I'm hoping. Shotgun.
Downing up the middle.
Again, and he needed 1.
Looks like he got 2.
2. Yeah, here comes Dotson back in, so they ain't going to give him much of a rest.
And Downing's a big boy himself. How big is he? There's Dotson. Downing's a 185-pound senior, too, so one goes out, one comes in. And for you guys at home listening or watching on TV, these receivers that Johnston has too, these kids are big receivers compared to our defensive back.
We don't have the length, but even 25 out there split to the right. Looks like he's well over 6 foot. So 1st and 10 under center is Dotson. He hands off to the safety valve for Johnston to Dotson.
Over people.
He got to the 25, so still moves the pile forward for another 5 yards. That's on the far side. Aurora's a sideline. I do give credit to Aurora Hound Dog Nation here, as those bleachers are pretty packed over there on that visitor side, Brent.
Yep, the Hound Dog Loyal are still here. And
Short commute.
It's short commute, and it is the Bell Bowl, but I think our crowds are even going to grow here later in the schedule when we start picking up a few W's here.
Yes. All right, so he hands off. Does Johnson? Nothing there. Let's see who's on the bottom of that. Jansen Hunt, Ethan Whitlock. I see a 0. That means Ibera's in there. And not much there on the ground, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and long for Mount Vernon. 3rd and 5 from the 25. A lot of ball game left here. 8:58 left here in the 3rd quarter. So Hounds were able to get a couple turnovers in the first half, and they need 2 or 3 more here in the second half. As big 3rd down here for Mount Vernon. 3rd and 5 from the 25. Shotgun formation is Johnston. Fumble, and now he's got some pressure, and Ibera tries to knock him down, but I guess I don't know who gets credit. Maybe Cutbirth is back there, Hunt's back there, Ibera's back there, but a shotgun snap got away from Johnston, and we may see the first punt of the ball game for Mount Vernon. Brent, let's see, 4th and 12.
I don't think we will from the 30. I think he'll
32?
go for here. Yeah, 32.
Yeah, you're right. Once again, I'm the king of wishful thinking, but Johnston can't air it out.
I don't think Mount Vernon has a punter this year. They're kind of like Seneca.
We haven't seen it yet. We did. Hey, yeah, we did make that kid punt one time, week 1. Remember? All right, so
no, I do not.
Yes, they did. They punted once. Okay, so maybe Tom Cox is going to call a timeout here. So I think he did call a timeout. That's going to be charged to Mount Vernon, Diana. Timeout, Mount Vernon. The timeout sponsor is Heller Heat and Air. Give them a call. It's going to be cooling down soon for all your fall furnace checkups. 417-678-0402. 8:01 left here in the 3rd quarter. Brought to you by Manny's Motors. Give them a call for all your auto repairs and service, or go see him across the street from the Hound Dog Water Tower at 22 East Church Street. Give him a call at 417-678-4466. And a big down here, Brent, because like I said, technically it's only a 3-score game. I say only a 3-score game. We haven't scored yet. But last week, the Hounds did win the half against Cassville and outscored them after trailing 15-0. They won the second half battle 15-7, even though they lost by 3 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was a close game. Hound Dogs had their opportunities. I think a couple things. You had that 185-yard run that the Cassville ball carrier fumbled, bounced right up to the blocker, touchdown.
That hurt.
Hound Dogs, that should have been our game.
All right, so Johnston is in shotgun formation. As he goes to pass, and he has a man wide open, and that is going to be a touchdown once again from the 32, number 25, Brent. Let's see who that is. Wide open, so Tom Cox, Demph again. So Demph looking for some all-conference honors as Aurora's making him look like an all-conference tonight, as that is his 3rd TD of the game, and here are those sirens again.
Yeah, that was a simple post route there, or a flag, and he was wide open. Nobody within 10 yards of him. So that was a 33-yard touchdown, you say?
I had 32.
32.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, that's a big difference there, Chad.
Yeah, 3 feet. Let's see. Yeah, PAT's good.
So it is extra points good, 31-0, 7:54. Mount Vernon chewed up a 3rd of the quarter already on the ground, only threw it when they had to, and threw it for a touchdown.
Yeah, hitting rewind here. Almost made it wasn't a rookie mistake. It was my 3rd year here on the radio, and I knew Mount Vernon was down, and I knew it was Coach Weldy's last year. I knew he had a good team, and I made the stupid. The week before the Aurora Mount Vernon game, I made the comment on my Saturday morning shoot-around show that there was no way that Mount Vernon was going to win, and if they did, I would get a mohawk the next week. Aurora ended up winning 27-6. But that was 2 years ago, and I felt real confident when I said that. Now, no way am I saying that this year or next year, man, because Tom Cox has got him going over here at Mount Vernon, man.
He does. I mean, can you imagine what he's done? 2 years ago, he's 1-10.
And that 10, you remember, they were 0-9. They won their 10th week district game to get to that 11th game. So, I mean, yeah.
All right, here's the kick. It looks like it's going back to McKinley again.
McKinley's had some action. I'm about the 15-yard line. He catches it, and he gets up to about the 20. Well, the pile moving forward. No
Nice.
quitting that pile, as it was stopped about the 27, but I think it went across the 30, maybe the 31. So Josh McKinley, one of the better special teams players for the Hound Dogs. And now, not only does Aurora need to try to find a way to stop the bleeding here, but one more score by the Mountaineers, and some guy named Turbo is going to show up, as in the second half, if it's 35 points or more in Missouri, the clock does not stop for incomplete passes. But 31-0, let under center now.
Power I. We haven't seen that this year.
Cut berth with the carry, so we have not. There's maybe once or twice on the goal line last week. Maybe. I think they may have run nickel once and hunt once. But for the most part, it has been a spread offense, shotgun, RPO-like. They gave them 3 on the play, Brant. And we watched them last week. There was no quit in the fourth quarter. Well, now you're still playing for your town, your team, and yourself with a little pride here. Another under center move, and big run by Cutbirth as it started on the 34, and he's close to midfield there. And that's 2 plays in a row, Brad, that they've went under center, like you said, with that power eye. And let me look here. It looks like, oh yeah, Mount Vernon's first team defense is still in there. I see Dodson, I see Johnston, I see Leeper and some of these guys. So it's still against the first. It's 7 minutes.
Yeah, they're
left.
going straight power I. Nichols leading the way at fullback, and they got Cutler back there.
Okay, so now there's some confusion with the line. Barrentos switches spots under center. They give that one to Nickel, and I think there's no room there. As 3 times in a row they've done the power I, and I'm trying to see if that was Justice Nickel. 6'1", 220 running back. And he's a senior, but he did not have much room at all.
Yeah, they just tried to do a quick hitter with the fullback, and he was met
so he checks
right
out.
at the line. So here comes Loire back out. Prater's back in. Nichols out.
So 3 in a row. Let's see what happens here. Probably going back to shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going back to a pistol formation, running back behind the quarterback in the shotgun.
2 to the left. There's a fake handoff. He spins, and he's going to throw. Finds a man, but there's a flag. I think it's Ibarra, but there's a flag, and we'll wait and see. Cutler is slow getting up, but where it's thrown at, Brent, it's probably against
It's probably holding, I'd say.
either a legal block or holding, but good-looking play.
Yeah.
There's a fake handoff. Lara spins out of it, spins to the right. There's momentum going that way, but that was a flag.
It is going to be holding on the Hound Dogs.
That would have been first down, or right at the sticks, but don't know what dog was guilty there. But that one hurts because see where they step this off.
That's going to be a 10-yard penalty. That's going to bring up 2nd and 20.
Yeah. You have to get all the way up to about the 42-yard line.
Or 2nd and 8. No, it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Yep, a lot of acreage here to gain. 2nd and 20. Well, it says from the 37, 38-yard line.
Mount Vernon still has 10 men in the box up there around the line of scrimmage. No running room for the Dogs.
And they're going to throw it.
Quick screen out to Mio.
Go.
Oh, and he's got a crease for about a 6-yard, 7-yard gain.
I'd give him 7, come 11 there, because he was to start on the 38. Jaramillo is one of the quicker hounds. Hasn't had the ball in his hands very often, but when he is in the open field, he can make a move. But now it's going to be another big 3rd down.
Third down at about 12.
Yeah. Oh, they're saying a baker's dozen, so let's just get 15 here. 3rd and 12 or 13, I don't know.
Shotgun all by himself as Laura rolls out to the right. Blitz.
He's got to run.
Going to tuck it
for his
up.
life.
And he gets hit.
He gets licked. He does move forward to about the 45. So it's 4th down, Brent. And let's wait and see how many yards they give him. Looks like he's just outside the 45.
Yeah, and
he needs 3.
Yeah,
so
at this point, it's 4-down territory.
So what's the
Yeah.
Did somebody call a timeout?
I don't know. I think he just said timeout by the Hound Dogs.
Well, they haven't took it off the board yet. I don't know. I did see one of the helpers for Aurora giving the refs a drink. So it was a timeout on the field. And once again, those managers and filmers, yeah, can you see it?
Yep. Hats off to our managers and filmers, Jalen Ernest, Jasa Ernest, Ashlyn Thurman, and Clara Johannes.
Claire's up top, Brant. She passed us earlier, and I don't think she came down. So Coach Johannes' daughter's been up there all game up top.
She's a trooper. She always is.
I think Coach Dunning's up there with her. So 4th and Rook, I believe, a couple of them. But 4th and 3 from the 45, and this is a big one here.
Laura's back by himself in shotgun. It is a pass, out route, incomplete. Threw it just a little bit wide.
He was looking for, looks like Braden Allen, number 2. So turnover on downs, and that one hurts because Hounds moved the ball a little bit.
Mount Vernon will take over about the 41-yard line. Are the starters still in, Chad?
Oh.
I don't see Dotson.
Well, there comes Downing.
Downing. That's Damp coming off, too, isn't it?
Okay.
Yep, Dotson's coming out.
Coming out. And let's see. I know last week the backup quarterback was Dawson.
No, Johnson's going to come in, but I think you see handoff after handoff here.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they would air it out up 31-0. But a couple receivers, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. But he does throw it. Number 34 caught right at midfield. Jax Prater arm tackles him. Good job by Jax. No quitting him.
Just like I said, they're probably going to throw it here.
Yeah. Well, like I said.
Who caught that? Did you see who caught that?
I know Prater had the tackle.
Okay. Well, that doesn't help me. So about a 5-yard pickup anyway.
Yeah, let's see.
Brings up about 2nd and 5. Again, shotgun.
15 or 34.
Going to be a handoff
Downing.
up the middle. 5, 10, 15, 16.
He wasn't even touched the first 12 yards, Brant. Downing did his Dotson impersonation and just ran downhill. Finally, on the 3rd level, was able to get tackled. But
and it's tough. You get these big backs up on our defensive backs aren't the biggest. You get him untouched 10 yards, and you have to have our defensive backs bring down a big running back. That takes its toll.
So what's number 74 for them listed at? That guy.
210 pounds. No. 74. Oh, 320. Yeah.
Yeah, that fellow was leading the way.
Quick screen out to the right. It's complete, but for a short game.
Nickel, dime, penny.
Give
me a Justice Nickel on that one. No, that was number 24, Brant, on the catch. I can't see. It looks like Hudson Gaddy.
And that will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 7th receiver that Johnston has hit tonight, so spreading it around.
Isn't he? And he's going to throw another one, and that was dropped. That was incomplete. That was intended for Calvin Dawson, but it was incomplete. I don't know if Calvin caught one, so he was going for another different receiver there, but just through his mitts. And that stops the clock. 3rd and 9 from the 33-yard line. 3:14 left here in the 3rd quarter. Once again, brought to you by Manny's Motors.
Back in shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the near side. Johnson take it. He's throwing it again. Screen up the middle.
Good job.
Perfectly by Ethan Whitlock.
Big tackle by Ethan Whitlock, the senior. As they were trying to set that screen up for, was it Downing, Brant, 35?
Yeah.
And with Whitlock, he smelt it. And that's going to bring up 4th down, under 3 minutes to go. And we'll wait and see. Still 20 on the play clock. And they've been throwing it, and you got to think they will again, Brant.
Yep.
Trying to put the
their foot across the Hound Dog's throat here.
Johnston comes back in. Some of these younger receivers getting to play.
Still, three receivers to the left, 2 to the right, shotgun formation, empty backfield. And here comes Johnson to throw it. Tight spiral. Intercepted by Jax again.
He was down.
Oh, that's fine.
Yep.
Jax will go to the whistle and then some. So Jax had a pick last week. That's the third takeaway for the Hound defense. Now they have been on the field a lot tonight, but we'll take that, Jax. So now, if we could figure out a 31 or 2-point play here,
that would be perfect.
Let's start with 6. We need to get across the end zone here. Still a lot of time.
Try to hit that quick slant there, and Jax just jumped it, beat the receiver to the ball. So
not many incompletions for Johnston tonight. Technically, I guess that was, even though it was complete to a Hound Dog defender. But 1st and 10 for the 20 for Laura. He's under center again. And who did he give it to there? I couldn't see who the up back was. Nickel, maybe?
Nickel.
Okay. So once again, under center. So Hound's kind of changing face here in the middle of the third quarter. We've seen more under center in this quarter. I think we have the first 2 games coming into this.
Yeah, they're trying to come to their power game. That spread's not working. Those linebackers are shooting the gaps way too quick, so they come out here in the power eye and try to just force it down and just play mono football here. Do it again, power eye, hand off to Cutberg over the middle.
He gets across
and he got the first down.
And that's a first down brought to you by Pettit Law Office. They are your local legal team practicing personal injury, workman's comp, and estate planning. Give them a call at 417-678-2187.
1:46 left in the third quarter, 31-0. No score in this quarter. Oh, yeah, there was one score at the beginning of the quarter.
Player under center, hands it off to Cutberg to nothing there.
He's going to lose a couple on that one.
We got a lot of different sponsors that bring this game to you folks. Another one is Crafton Cantrell Funeral Home. They report a service of Crafton Cantrell Funeral Home where they honor your loved ones with caring and compassionate care. At Crafton Cantrell, their goal is to lighten your burden in your time of sorrow. So that gets it up to the 30-yard line. We thank all of our sponsors. I wish someone could send some touchdowns our way here.
Yes.
So second and 12 from the 30. Under center again is Lara. And he's looking to chuck it as he throws it out to Jaramillo. He catches it. Not much room there, but he does fall forward as it started on the 30. He got across the 35. So another completion for Lara and another reception for Jaramillo. That makes it 3rd and 6. Let's see. There is 3-second differential, and the Hounds will have to, there's 20 seconds in count. Oh, no, I read that wrong. So the Hounds don't have to snap it, but they will. Or they do have to snap it.
They do have
that camera's, I couldn't tell if it was a 2 or a 3. Hard run by Cutberg, but not much there. Let's see where they spot it, Brant. Maybe 1 on the play. They can let this end, and they will. So now that was the last play of the third quarter, brought to you by Manny's Motors. So we were at halftime. It was 24-0. Mount Vernon scores 7 in the third quarter, brought to you by Manny's Motors. So we're going to the fourth quarter. Mount Vernon 31, Aurora 0. We'll be right back after this. punt by Carpenter all the way back to the 20. Mount Vernon to 30, the 40, gets across the 40 to about the 42. We'll wait and see who that was for the Mountaineers. I believe it was number 25. We've said his name a lot tonight, and that was Ryder Dampf. So 31-0 is your score. Fourth quarter brought to you by Matt Maple, Century 21 Family Tree. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Let Century 21 Family Tree help you with that transition. Give them a call today at 417-678-2121. At Century 21 Family Tree, let their family help your family. So now Mount Vernon up to the line. Johnson's still in there. Dodson's still in there. So they're going for the jugular. But the Hounds playing hardball here. Is not much there. I see Ibarra still fighting with that tackle. And once again, it looks like 51 Whitlock in there. And Dodson maybe, what, one, Brent?
Yeah, maybe. There was not much there on that one. Kind of surprised he's still in there, being the bell cow, if you will.
Yeah, you don't want to see nobody get hurt. Tom Cox would sure not like that in this situation. Another handoff to Dodson, and he started on the 44 and gets closer to midfield as he gets 2 or 3.
And he's starting to close in on 20 carries tonight.
That does not surprise me. We've said his name a lot. But quickly, 3rd and 6, so only 4 yards on 2 carries for Dodson. Here comes Mount Vernon quickly up to the line. Johnston pitches it to who else but Dodson. They cut the edge off, does Hadamio. Good crunch tackle there between Cutbirth and Hadamio. Whitlock also in the neighborhood. And it's going to be 4th down, and we have not seen the punter from Mount Vernon yet. And it's technically, let's see, 4th and 2. So 4th quarter just started, and Mount Vernon's offense still on the field. So let's see what the Hounds do here. They're getting quickly up to the line. Watch the hard count. They do pitch it to who else but Dodson.
Hand Dog's in the backfield.
I don't think he got it.
It's going to be close.
He ran to the side here on the sideline. And
I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either. He did not. So if that's the case, we haven't seen the punter, but good hard-nosed defense. First down, Hound Dogs. All right.
It's a defensive stop.
We'll let them know up here that we're still here. That's right. Hound Dogs, first down. Good job.
So here we go. Offense taken back over. Looks like all the offense is still in here. Here comes Laura. Here comes Justice. Nope, Justice. Or
Jansen Hunt.
Jansen Hunt goes back.
Okay, he's had some snaps on the offensive side, so
Hartwigson's in there.
31-0, but this is best field position for the Hounds here. As they're on the other side of the 50 to 48-yard line. So
still got the power. Eye nickel leading the way at fullback, followed by Cutbirth. And the Cutbirth up the middle.
Gets the ball and
picks up about 3. Cutbirth has carried most of the weight this second half. He's got 6 rushes for 24 yards, so that's far better than anybody else has carried the ball tonight against this green machine on the defense.
So Hounds do cross midfield here. 9:50 and counting. They trail 31-0 here. Hadamio and Hartwigson to the left here. Under center, and they hand it off to the first man up, and that's Nickel. Not a whole lot of room here. As it's going to bring up 3rd down. So,
looks like both teams are just content to run the ball up the middle here. I'd say maybe Laura, it's going to be 3rd and 5. I'd say Laura probably will throw here.
Prater and Hartwig. Huh? You're what?
So 9:17 left here in the fourth quarter.
Go through the next door, buddy.
Hound Dogs coming up. There's the bell again. The bell tolls for every time 3rd down comes up. Laura isn't shotgun through receivers near side, 2 receivers far side. Here comes the Mountaineers.
And he is
bringing the heat.
Nowhere to go.
He is going to be sacked behind the line.
Yep, it was a loss on the play. I'll get it, bud. So that's going to bring up 4th down and 5. It's midfield, so I'd say, why not?
What are you going to lose at this point?
Yeah. Playing for pride. 4th and 8 from the 50.
Yep. Laura trots back out. We are going to go for it.
Midfield, right at midfield.
I think we just got to throw one up.
The wind is blowing that way, so the wind is behind Laura's back here. So he's got
here they all come up, 11 in the
to the
box.
left, and 2 to the right. Now Jaramillo in motion. Laura's looking to throw it. He throws to Jaramillo, swings out, and first down, and more. He gets across the 40, spins to about the 37, and Jaramillo was the man in motion, and Dotson's still in there, as now Downing on the ground. Looks like couple Mountaineers hobbled up there. Another one bent over. Let's see who that is. Grayson Gann, slow to get up. He's getting off, but
Jaramillo's making his presence known. 27 receiving yards here in this second half.
That first down was brought to you by Pettit Law Office. Give them a call for all your local legal needs at 417-678-2187. Hound Dogs 1st and 10 from the 36. Looking to score for the first time this year, or this game, I'm sorry. Hartwigson catches it out of the backfield. He had to wait for it. Double deuce there, 22 on the tackle. Hartwigson with the catch. It's old Jake Leeper, the 165-pound senior. It was a positive yard play. They gave him 1, but it's like, well, yeah, maybe so. 1.5. Splitting hairs now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win something here. 2nd and 9 for the 36.
Back to the power eye.
They do.
Handed Cutbirth up the middle.
Cutbirth cuts and falls forward about the 30. It started at the 36. Matthew, well-rounded athlete. So he's had some injuries in a couple sports last year too, but when he's healthy, he's a good-looking junior, Brent.
And Coach may have found something here with this power eye formation. Nothing fancy, just can you stop us? Cutbirth's done a good job.
3rd and 3. Here come the bells. 3rd and 3 from the 30. Under center is Lara. And he hands it off to Cutbirth, and he falls forward for another one, and he takes Dotson and another fella with him for another 5. Another first down brought to you by Pale Office. And Mount Vernon still has a lot of their first teamers in there, Brant. The Hounds, like you said, finding something here, moving forward next week, and giving Hollister a lot of, Catholic a lot to look on film moving forward next week. But this ain't over yet. 6:20 ain't counting. Now he's going to be in shotgun. I think we just had to burn one.
Yeah, Cutbirth, he's closing in on 40 yards rushing just in this half. So hats off to him. He runs hard. He's hard to bring down.
That timeout was Aurora, Diana. The timeout sponsor is Hella Heating Air. Give them a call for your fall furnace checkup at 417-678-0402. And also, this game is also brought to you by Grant Baker Shelter Insurance. Grant Baker has proudly been serving Aurora and the surrounding area for over 20 years. Give him a call at 417-678-5404. And also, the Apple and Google phone app sponsor is Mercy Hospital. Mercy Hospital of Aurora, where your life is their life's work. Mercy Hospital of Aurora, where quality care matters. So, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Still 6:20 left. The Hounds really looking to score here and to build on this 4th quarter, as Mount Vernon has owned the stat sheet and most of the game. Aurora's found something here. You said, Brant. Now it's back to pistol. Lauer in shotgun. He's looking to throw it. He throws it to the end zone, and he's there. It's intercepted.
He was going to bring it out of the end zone.
He did. And he goes to 10, to 20, to 30. Once again, he was looking for Braden Allen.
And that one had a shot. I really thought our receiver had an opportunity, had it, and Braden Allen just stepped up and just got higher than our receiver and picked it off. So a good drive comes to an end with the turnover.
Was that 22 that caught that? Was that Jake Leeper that leaped out of the...
Oh, was it Leeper?
Yeah, I think Leeper leaped in the air. Our receiver was Allen.
Oh, okay.
And I think Leeper leaped and stole it from Allen. So that was a momentum killer there, Brant, because they started on the other side of the 50 and had a couple chunk first downs, and now... Is Johnson still in there?
Johnson's still in there.
Really? 31-0. Now he's going to hand off to Dodson.
Still in there.
Oh,
And Dawson's gone.
He's gone. That's why. 71-yard run. 5:55.
70-yard run for Mr. Dodson. That will give him, let's see here, 234 yards on the night. I would say their night's done now after that run.
Who knows?
Yeah. And there's the bell, there's the sirens, and not much to cheer about on the Aurora sideline.
No, the turbo clock will be instilled at the next drive, but yeah.
So number 57 for the Mountaineers on for the extra point. Landon Popa. Kick is up, and it is good. 38-0, all Mount Vernon. 5:55 turbo clock will be in effect here as Aurora will receive this kick. And what do you think? Is Laura the start of the night's over? I would say probably at this point.
5:55 left here in this contest. The score is 38-0. One of our backups, Rackley, is inactive again, so Laura got some action last year as a freshman. Creasy is on the depth chart, and he's up. Whoops, he's listed at 6'1".
Yeah, he's a big freshman.
6'1", 180 maybe. Creasy. Find him. So let's see who's back.
So again, McKinley and the freshman
Diaz
is back there. Diaz is back there. Diaz is a big freshman, 5'9", 170 pounds, and he runs the ball hard. He's a good athlete.
He's had a couple good looks this year. Mount Vernon's on their feet. It will, yeah. Ball rolls off the tee. Hounds could have killed Turbo if they would have capitalized on that last drive. Another interception, another pick.
And it is kicked to the freshman, gets it on a full sprint up the middle, finds a little crease, brings it out to about the 33.
Yeah, and he's forward progress is stopped. So clock is still ticking here, even during change of possession. So 5:28 and counting.
Laura does come back out.
Growing pains as this sophomore season here. So Harwigson's still in there.
Come out in a power eye. Cutbirth is still in the back. Nichols the fullback. Snap right up the middle to the right side. Cutbirth for about 4.
So yeah, they found something in Cutbirth. They know he can carry the ball, but he's also one of the linebackers. But he's got a lot of action here, especially fourth quarter. But
they still have Dodson out there at linebacker, Chad, with a 38-point lead under 5 minutes.
He just had a 79-yard run, but he don't believe in water breaks. He doesn't deserve one.
I'd be more worried about injury. You lose
I would too, but
you lose a big part of your offense.
But hey, look at Tom. Tomcats gonna be 3-0, and there's just a mauling in the Aurora backfield. As I think Nickel maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but he was in the middle of a Mountaineer sandwich. I know. 4:20 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Turbo clock is instilled. 38-0. 3rd and 5 from the 38. And Jack Sprayer checks out. Now Nickel looks like he's limping off Brant. Never want to see that, especially in the end of a game.
No, especially when the game's out of hand as it is and Turbo's going.
This has been a hard-hitting game.
It has.
It has been.
Hats off to these Mountaineer players. They are the real deal. Holyfield. Play action pass.
Spinner to Cutbirth
for the first down.
That was a little sidearm action, Mahomes-like, by Laura there.
Except we caught it.
Reception. Yeah.
Still a little upset about the game.
Yeah.
Still a little hurt.
Oh, yeah. Too soon. Good looking play by Cutbirth. Another first down brought to you by Pedal Office. Give them a call for all your local legal needs at 2187. Aurora runs back in from the sideline. Gets the play from Coach Pitts. Don't go anywhere. The postgame show brought to you by Doty Trash Service, and the postgame interview brought to you by Conran Welding. We'll have some stats. We'll have some scores, and hopefully Coach Pitts will join us, give his insight on the game. And Prater gets a carry, and he finds a little room up the middle, finds some space. One of the better running plays by Prater tonight. They've had him bottled up for the most part. You've called him a spark plug before, and he's out there too on both sides of the ball. But,
last year he kind of flew undercover for 2/3 of the season. No one knew who he was. He ran hard. This year he's been keyed on a lot, and he hadn't found much room this year.
Like I said, though, kind of a murderer's row. These first 3 games, even though last week's game was very obtainable, but still a very good team in Cassville. Lars looking to chuck it, and he plays hot potato with Hadamio, and incomplete. He was thrown in double coverage there. There's a couple Mounties were covering Hadamio, but Laura showing off his arm, and why not on 2nd and 1? Now it's 3rd and 1, but that was a good-looking spiral, but it just overthrew the quick Hadamio, and they were trying to stop that turbo clock if that would have been a touchdown, but it wasn't. So
under 2 left to play here. Back to the power I formation. Justice Nichols is the fullback. Cutbirth is the tailback. Mount Vernon creeping close. There it is. Hand off the middle. And Cutbirth.
I think he had that. I think his first initial effort from where the side judge is, I think they're going to go ahead and give him that first down. I know it don't mean much, but we'll take it.
Same thing.
We'll take it. Why not? They are moving the chains. 74, 320-pound. Fields checks out. And they do. I think Mount Vernon, and all my opinions are my own, but I see them being 7-2 or maybe 8-1 at the end of the regular season.
I see them being the class act of the Big 8 East, really.
Yeah, they're going to be in there. So Laura throws to Hadamio, a little screen. He does fight forward for the positive gain. There was first attempt from the 42. There's probably only going to be another play or 2 left here, as even Laura has to go to the sideline to get the play now at 40 seconds in counting. So the turbo clock going. Probably got
one more play.
Throw this one up. Hey.
See what happens.
Yeah, throw it up. You got 28 seconds in counting. 2nd and 4 from the 36. This is going to be the last play of the game if it's not a touchdown. So I would guess. So Laura in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, and he is going to throw it. A little screen, and it's incomplete, and that should a flag. So they're going to stop the clock with 10. I'm having flashbacks from last week.
Right. Just put the flag in your pocket, so it's 10 seconds.
Groundhog Day. All right, so they're going to get their glory one more time. So they're talking to Coach Cox. So that means it's probably on Aurora. And
holding
defense. Oh, so we might get one more time down. If he doesn't, if he gets off the sideline here. Yep, that was a penalty on Mount Vernon. So make the right call. Grab an iced coffee with cold foam at the Garden Exchange. Go see them at 22 East Olive Street. And they got an event tomorrow, I think, from 10 to 3. Kid-friendly, petting zoo. They got pumpkins, mums, and all kinds of stuff. Face painting, kids face painting, free pony rides.
Did you say pumpkins and moms?
Pumpkins and moms.
Oh, moms.
Yes. And yes, there's going to be some moms down.
I was going to see the pumpkin moms. I thought that was rude, but I was going.
Throws it up, an interception at the 5. He was looking for Hartwigs, and instead of 22 on the tackle. Whitlock on the tackle there, but once again, Jake Leeper gives the Mount Vernon Mountaineers the shutout over the Aurora Hound Dogs. 38-0 is your final score. So like I said, don't go anywhere.
Post-game show is brought to you by Doty Trash Service. We give you some stats. We give you some area scores from the Big Eight and around the area. And then we will have the post-game interview brought to you by, or post-game coaches interview brought to you by Conran Welding. So your final score, Mount Vernon 38, Aurora 0. We'll be back with the post-game show brought to you by Doty Trash Service after this.
You're listening to the Postgame Show, brought to you by Adobe Trash Service. Postgame Show is brought to you by Adobe Trash Service. Don't start a project without contacting them first. They make the cleanup easy. Give them a call at 417-678-1350. Oh, man, I guess I'll go over the score in summary, Brant. With 5:06 left in the first quarter, Ryder Dam had a 10-yard catch to make it 6-0. The PAT was good to make it 7-0. And in the second quarter, Johnston had an 8-yard run to make it 13-0. The PAT was good to make it 14-0. And there was a safety with 3:19 left before half to make it 16-0. And then Dampf had a 22-yard catch to make it 22-0. Then Dotson got involved with a 2-point conversion to make it 24-0. And then Dempf again had a 32-yard catch to make it 30-0. The PAT kick was good to make it 31-0, but then they weren't done yet. With 5:55 left in the fourth, Dotson with a 71-yard run gallop, let's say, to make it 37-0. The PAT was good by number 57, Papa, to make it 38-0. And that's where we stand, Brent. Let me catch my breath and to give me some stat.
Well, here's the stat train. Mount Vernon total yards 429. Aurora total yards 194. Bright spot in the second half. Cutbirth in that power I formation racked up 40 yards and a half. So he's our leading rusher by far. Prater's the next with 11. Like I said, they've been keen on Prater. Dotson was the man of the night with 234 yards rushing. Johnson added another 164 receiving to a plethora of receivers. Dampf had 70, a couple touchdowns, so it wasn't even close tonight. It was all Mount Vernon, juggernaut on offense and a steel curtain on defense, and Aurora didn't have any of the answers. Every time they got close, it was a turnover interception. So hats off to the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. Coach Cox, you are the Bell Bowl champions this year.
Yes, it is going to reside in Mount Vernon again. Aurora's defense did have 3 takeaways.
Yeah.
And the score might have been worse than the 38-0 deficit of where we're at. But still, we were talking about it. Some of the upcoming games for Aurora, Springfield Catholic, as the late Bob Barker used to say, come on down. We will host you next week in Aurora as they will be coming to town. Then we will go to a Hollister, and then we'll come back for the all-school reunion weekend. I believe that's against Marshfield. And, you know, Brent, we knew that schedule was kind of heavy at the beginning of the season, but now it's going to be more teams that are maybe our style, where, we knew we were outmatched, a couple of them, and so far there is no spreads, but on paper, we have been the underdog the first 3 games, and maybe not next week since we are at home.
Yeah, and it's bad starting off against 2 state-ranked teams in your first 3 games and another undefeated team, which Seneca is slacking them last time I checked. But,
yes,
it's hard to start off with them, and then you bring in a sophomore quarterback. It's really hard. Laura's going to have a chance to take these whoopings that he's got in these first couple weeks of the season, and he's going to be able to apply them to a Catholic, and he's going to grow in these next 4 to 5 weeks. We could walk away with 4 or 5 wins, if we play our game. There's no give-me's. I mean, if we play our game, we could be 500 going into district, maybe just a hair under 500, right?
Yes.
Catholic's winnable, Hollister's winnable, Marshfield's winnable, Reed's 1-1. They're going to be pretty good. East Newton's proven they're pretty decent.
Yeah.
And Rogersville, I think Rogersville's losing tonight. So any of these teams we're going to be better matched up with, and when you're better matched up, now you get to learn what your job is, and now you get some confidence going into district, where hopefully I'd like to see Cassville again in district, but that's a ways away.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
So we are going to be joined by Coach Pitts. Once again, the postgame show is brought to you by Adobe Trash Service. The post-game show is brought to you by them. Don't start a project without contacting them first. They make the cleanup easy. Give them a call at 417-678-1350. And the post-game coaches interview will be brought to you by Conran Welding. They specialize in fencing, equipment, repair railings, corrals, and much more. To schedule your next project or repair, give Conran Welding a call at 417-229-6353. That's 417-229-6353. And we appreciate the Doty post-game show. And brought to you by Doty Trash Service and the coach's interview. So I want to take a 30-second timeout. Looks like Coach Pitts is coming. We'll be right back with the interview brought to you by Conran Welding after this. Wait, we ain't even we've kind of been buffering on this hotspot, so we're not even going to do this freeze frame interview. We're just blacking the screen, so it's just me and you talking instead of, and I know the camera, we've had some issues and whatnot, so, but whenever you're ready, I was trying to get some scores. Lamar.
I'd say that's the best team in the East.
47-19, Nevada over Newton.
The area's finest. Me is a division of Kent Center.
That was last report at half. 49-29 over 28. Marsh in the fourth quarter. Reed's 40-0 over Catholic in the fourth.
Corral, much more. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30.
It was 30-0, not 38. It was 30 at half.
Check them out on their
You gonna be ready?
repair schedule project for your next
One more and then I've played them all. If you're good with that. Hey Diana? When this one's over, I'm coming back. But I don't know when it's over because I don't know it that well. Again, the post-game show brought to you by Doty Trash Service, and the post-game coaches interview brought to you by Conran Welding. We appreciate each and every sponsor, and I am joined by Coach Brandon Pitts. And Coach, coming over here to Mount Vernon, we know it wasn't going to be pretty. We knew they were a very seasoned team, junior-led, but Tom Cox, 2 years ago, they were just 1-10. Last year was rebuilding at 8-4, but Mount Vernon, we got to come see them tonight and see what they're all about, and they're for real.
Yeah, scheme-wise, they're the best team we've played, and that's not a shot at Seneca. I think that's more of a praise to Coach Cox. Everything he does, man, he's really good. His kids are bought in, and ultimately it came down to, one, they were a better team than us, and two, culture-wise, right now they're a better program than us. We were soft. That was probably the softest half I've seen since I've been here, and that first half, and that kind of got us really behind. We came out and we didn't execute, and that's just on me. That's on me.
Well, we knew coming over here, they got a beautiful facility. They got the fire trucks. They got the electric scoreboard. They got the crowd, and we talked about it. It dates back on the trophy. You've probably been down there to see it. All the way back to 1919 was the first time that these two teams that they on record played, and we had to do some math coming in. But coming into this, Back to 1919, Mount Vernon has won 41 times. Aurora had won 38. There were a few years with no records, no teams, etc., and there was 2 ties. And there's also been some postseason games between the 2 teams. But the Bell Bowl Trophy itself, that's the regular season. That's what we had adding that up. So not, maybe a handful of difference. They may have the edge a little bit, but we've talked about it when these 2 teams collide. A lot of times, you never know. But we had good effort. We had 3 takeaways tonight. But man, that Dodson, he was a load.
Yeah. Last year I want to say he had 55 rushing yards. And so with our big bodies, I was pretty confident in our scheme, and I didn't have us ready.
And Johnston, let's not disrespect him either, where he can use Dodson as a decoy at times, but he can fling it around. And he had some, I can't remember how many different receivers, but a handful, 5 or 6 or 7 at times, where he wasn't locking in on one guy.
Yeah, no, he's reading coverages, and that's credit to his coaching, number 1, and then number 2, him. He's a very good player. I told our kids I thought he was probably the best quarterback that we'll see, and we've got some dandies on our schedule. With the Reeds quarterback, and shoot, everybody's got a decent quarterback, but it's just one of those deals where we were on top of things like we needed to be, but we didn't tackle well, and so in the game of football, there's 2 things you have to do to be good, and that's block and tackle. And tonight we did neither of those things, and that's on me.
Well, we also looked in the 4th quarter. You kind of brought a little different flavor on the offensive side, kind of ran on the eye. And Matthew Cutbirth had some good positive chunks of yards. And me and Brent were talking up here, giving Catholic a little bit more film study next week, because predominantly for the most part we're in that pistol shotgun formation, but you saw some things there that you hadn't really tried that much so far this year.
Yeah, and so I told him, I said, hey, we can throw a little bit, we can't do it consistently enough, and so we have to be able to run the ball. And I knew I think you guys had us for 10 rushes for 8 yards, and I think we had us for -5, and so I was like, hey, we're going to get in the I formation, and we're going to run the ball, because if we can't run the ball, then I've absolutely failed. And so we were able to move it a little bit more in the second half. Probably going to have to live in that just a little bit, just to, it's more of a strength of our team. I think scheme-wise, I've obviously put us at a disadvantage. And so we got to go back to the drawing board a little bit with some of that, and do what we can do. And I've got to be better for our kids.
Okay, so looking at the first 3 games, obviously playing 2 state-ranked teams in Seneca and Mount Vernon, and a pretty good Cassville team in between there, where we talked last week. We had our opportunities in that game. It's not like they knocked us. It was a 3-point score, but that could have 2 or 3 plays that could have went either way. But looking at the next third of the schedule, Coach, home next week. I know Springfield Catholic's been kind of down, and we'll look at their score here in a little bit. But then we travel to Hollister. Both those teams were 0-2 coming in. So next week, what do you got to say about Catholic and going back to Kelly Field? You got a win on that field last year, but second, after being on the road in 2 bad, tough environments to start the season, middled in with that good, tough game against Cassville. What about next week, man?
I think if I'm going to be honest, if I don't do a better job and we play like we did tonight, then these next 3 games will be the similar outcome. Maybe not score-wise, but and so I have to do a better job. I told him, I said, hey, look, the next 3 games very winnable. And we can all of a sudden be 3-3 going into Reed Spring, who knows what their record will be, and then they're down a little, but they're still good. Who are we and what are we going to be? And I've been asking who we are for a long time. This season's been weird. That second half against Seneca, where we lost all those guys, and Rails kind of fell off, even though we played with them for a half. Last week we come out lay an egg in the first half, and we come back and beat them in the second half, but.
Yeah, we scored them 15-7 last week.
Yeah, it was 19-7. 19.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we scored more offensive touchdowns than they did. And so, you get to that point, and I think that was hard on our kids. And I didn't do a good enough job of redirecting our mind and getting us into a position where we were coming out and we were ready to compete tonight. And schematically, we covered things. Coach Cox is good. He did some things that we weren't ready for, and he got us on one or two. But at the end of the day, we got to execute and we got to make plays when we have the chance. We get that pick early, and I thought, okay, then we move the ball. We come all the way down. We throw another interception. So I've got to do a better job of getting my quarterback in good positions, and it just goes back to me.
Well, last year we did go up to Springfield Catholic and got a road win, 27-0. Tonight they were playing Reed Spring, and it looks like it's not a final recorded yet, but Reed Spring 40, Catholic 0. I'm not for sure if they've put any points on the board yet, but hey, sometimes it doesn't matter. You play who you're scheduled, who's on your schedule, and next week we got a good opportunity to make some of this go away, get a W, and like you said, after that, then have another district opponent at Hollister and another turf. Your first 3 road games are turf.
Yeah. Catholic is one of those teams where their record says they're not very good, but they do have some matchup problems. They've got a couple athletes that are pretty good, and Coach Page over there does a good job. Regardless of wins and losses, I think he does a good job. It's not that's one where we're circled on their calendar. I promise you we're circled. I think it was 14-0 at half. We come out and we beat them 27-0, but we weren't up by very much. And so it's one of those things where if we don't come out and practice and prepare to win a game, then we won't. And once again, it's just me. I have to be better.
Well, before we let you out of here, how about on the injury front? Did we get out with a decent, clean bill of health moving towards week 4?
Yeah, we got some nagging things.
They hit hard. I mean, both teams were, but there was some hard hitting going on tonight.
Well, there was just some nagging injuries. A couple shoulder things, a few shoulder things, and a couple hip things, or at least one hip thing. And so, you look at who's our starters. We got 7 guys, 8 guys that go both ways. And after that, we're starting to go to our really young guys. And so, we have to try to get healthy again this week, get back to it. And as of right now, we're healthy. Come Monday, who knows? But
sure.
I tell you that I'm going to get back to work and do everything I can to get this track or train back on the tracks.
Well, the way the district falls this year, we have every one of those teams on our schedule is in Class 3, District 6. So these first 3 games, you never know who we get week 10, but there's still a lot of familiar faces because every one of them's Big 8 opponents.
Yeah. It's crazy. I look at this district, it's just our schedule. It's our schedule, so.
Yeah, it's missing a couple.
You got Hollister, or not Hollister, you got Mount Vernon and Seneca and Cassville. If we can be a top 3, top 4 team, that puts us in at least a favorable position. Who knows how Cassville's going to be the rest of the way, but if we can win and go get 3 wins and then go to Reeds and get a win there, get a win at East Newton, all of a sudden this 0-3 goes to 5-3, and you're thinking, what can we do something here? And
right.
I think we've got the guys to do it, but it's just these next few weeks are going to be very important for us. And so we'll see where it goes.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming up. It's always good talking with you. I know this was a rough game. You got a lot of emotions, and I have some as well. Just to play, I'm not used to being in the sea of green, man, over here, so I get kind of queasy at times. But once again, I'm not going to leave Hound Dog Nation out. You had a good following over there, Coach, and when you turned around and looked, those bleachers were full.
Yeah, when I left the coach's huddle, I looked up and I was like, man, this is awesome. We'll get the ball and we got the punt, but it's a good punt and we cover it, and then they got on and score, but we were still playing okay, and they were loud. I heard them. Heard a lot of things, but the fact that they came out and they're supporting the boys, that goes to the community that I'm hoping to build.
I noticed in the post game after the game with your huddle, so to speak, it has gotten a little bigger. Some of those folks have been coming down out of the bleachers because you've been asking. You were that guy raising your hand saying, "Hey, come listen."
So that's one thing I want. I win or loss, it's going to be everybody's going to want to do it when we win. They probably don't want to be that close to me when we lose, but they're mad at me or something. But I'd love every single person in that stand to come down and be around their boys because they need them. After a tough loss like this, you're not guaranteed football. Who knows if this could be somebody's last game.
Yes.
We had a kid miss tonight that's getting an MRI, and so we'll see if he's healthy next week. But, so that could have been that kid's last game last week, and that's what I try to emphasize to these guys, man. It can end at any point.
Yes.
And you never know when it's going to end, and so we got to go out and play hard and execute. And unfortunately, we didn't. I do think we played hard at times. We're still struggling to execute. We really struggle with that.
Well, Coach, like I said, Tom Cox been around the block, and he has his guys going, but he has some good athletes. And I said it 2 years ago. I was here when Aurora took them down. I believe it was 27-6 or something. But a lot of those juniors now were thrown in the fire and were starting on Friday nights as freshmen, the Johnstons and the Dodsons. So you almost put a star by that junior where they've got the weighted, kind of like in a weighted class where they got the experience on Friday Night Lights, and they're a tough class, and we knew it'd be a tough task, but I always appreciate you coming up here and visiting with us, and we'll be back at Kelly Field next week, and we will look forward to visiting with you then, and hopefully we can get that W and start something. Sometimes the old adage, winning is contagious.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to win, but I'm going to do my best to have them better prepared.
All right, that's Coach Brandon Pitts with the post-game interview brought to you by Conrad Welding. We're going to take one quick one, be right back to wrap it up after this. All right, we are back. If you're just joining us, Mount Vernon comes away with the W, 38-0. And once again, the post-game show brought to you by Doty Trash Service, where don't start a project without contacting them first. They make the cleanup easy. Give them a call, 417-678-1350, partner. And I know it's always hard for a Coach Pitts to come up here after the fact of a hard game, a hard week going into this. But, sometimes you don't walk away with the W in a situation where you'd like to. In a highly heated rivalry like this, a lot going on, and I respect him for that, because I've seen it in some of these other teams and outlets where, that coach ain't under contract to come up and talk to us, man.
No, he doesn't. He truly cares about the community. That's why he does it. He cares about the kids. He cares about us up here doing the show. I mean, he really does. He's trying to build a program, and it's hard. I mean, you come into the Big 8 conference, and like we've said 100 times, they always represent the state playoffs. It's just a tough place to come in and get your first coaching gig, and he's trying to bring his own culture here, and it's working. But then you start out playing 3 undefeated teams.
It's a rough
is.
top heavy of a schedule. Like we said, no disrespect to anybody on our schedule in the Big 8, but Seneca and Cassville, they'll be, or Seneca and Mount Vernon, obviously will be ranked again in the top 10. Cassville won't be there, but may get a vote, but they took one on the chinny chin tonight as well. So we'll go ahead and try to wrap this up. We'll give some scores real quick. Some people aren't privy to internet where they may have issues on getting the score. So Lamar, they're all over Monette at 40-7. Seneca 44, Cassville 0. Webb City 42, Republic 21. That's in the fourth quarter. Nix at 34, Carthage 28. I'm sorry. Kabul 66, Willow Springs 6. Nevada 47, East Newton 19. That was the final. Mount Vernon 38, Aurora 0. Wow, Lebanon shut out Kickapoo. That was the game of the week in the area, 34-0. Bolivar all over Parkview, 48-0. Joplin 28, Ozark 0. Ava 38, Mountain Grove 14. That is a final. Moving on down. Carl Junction 32, Neosho 24 in a close one. Willard got by Branson 21-6. McDonald County 16, Rogersville 0. That's one of those Big 8 scores. West Plains last night beat Hillcrest 45-12. Camden 52, Waynesville 28. Reed Spring shuts out Catholic. That's Aurora's next opponent. 47-0. The Teen Wolves shut out the Irish. Marshfield 49, Hollister 28. That was last reported in the fourth quarter. And Fair Grove puts a bully beat down on Skyline 68-0. Liberty 36, Bayer 16. Houston 41, Salem 13. Stockton 36-0 over Ash Grove. That's a final. A couple unreported. Don't have no report on Clever, Forsyth, Orser, Coxey, Pierce City, or Eldo, Buffalo, but Lockwood, they punched Jasper 60-14. Osceola ate some cheese and got by Liberal 24-20. Greenfield over College Heights. They had to put some more light bulbs in the scoreboard. 78-70. Greenfield comes away. St. Borgia over Stratford, 42-7. Fort Scott, they're taking out Central in the third quarter, 30-6. Miller makes a road trip up to Cuba and wins 41-8. Diamond, they take off to Russellville, Kansas, and win Russellville, Arkansas, 45-15. Lafayette 27, Warsaw 22. And I'm sorry, you folks from Cole Camp, you got shut out by Tipton, 54-0. And tomorrow, up in Ozark, number 1 ranked Marionville in Class 1, they will be heading to Ozark to play the Lighthouse Christian Academy, which is a pretty not too bad salty of a team. So we'll root for our fellow Lawrence Countyans in the comments. But Brent, hopefully we learned something tonight. Like you said, in that fourth quarter, run the eye, give it a little different look. And Laura, yeah, he's prone to maybe throw a couple interceptions, but he's got a good-looking ball. And, the Hounds just need to get this bad taste in their mouth. And trust me, we're both Hound dogs. I got one right now.
Right.
The sirens finally quit, but I ain't heard that darn bell. Anyway, they took it. Okay. Anyway, it was on wheels, but I know I'm ready to shut it down and get back to Aurora, where it's a friendly confines of not only our town but also next week at Kelly Field.
Yeah, another home game. Everybody show up. We do have Catholic, 0-2 Catholic up. It's an opportunity for the
It's
Hound Dogs.
0-3 now. They got
0-3,
they
yeah.
got shut out too.
Yeah, like Coach Pitch says, we got to show up and we got to play, but it is a winnable game. Get back in that win column, give these boys some confidence, and they do. They need Hound Dog Nation to show up and not give up on them because there's still a lot of season. He's right. We could be 5-4, 4-5 going in the district and making some noise.
Yeah, it looks like the next 3 games up. Good sign for the Aurora faithful. Home 2 out of the next 3 weeks. Springfield Catholic home next week. Then go to Hollister, and then definitely pack the stands on 9/29 because that's the all-school reunion weekend home game against the Marshfield Blue Jays. So that's 9/29. So we're already a third of the season over, and in the regular season, and we are 0-3. But we've talked about it. If you're just joining us, then that's your fault. But the next 3 opponents aren't as tough as the first 3 opponents, Brant.
Absolutely.
And that ain't no joke.
Yeah, we could spread that out a little bit in the upcoming years, not play all the top teams the first couple weeks of the season. But
Yeah, if our activities,
Coach Hoffman, if you're
Coach
listening.
James Hoffman, if you're still listening, see what you can do to maybe stagger some of these top 10 teams. But I don't know if he's got that much power, especially his first year.
That's right.
That's right. He's just trying to get everything covered. But I tell you what, man, we appreciate all the sponsors. You'll hear them here at the end when we sign off. But I appreciate Jana back at the station and everybody that has a hand in the production throughout the week. Clint, Nikki, Sammy, of course, always my sports director, always sets me up to lose.
Wow,
We lost
wow,
tonight.
Sammy. Sorry about that.
Sets me up to win, but no, I'm hearing glory days in the background, and I'm looking at this green field, and I'm ready to shut the door on this game tonight. And we do apologize for the buffering. If you were watching on TV, we're on a hotspot, man. So if we could take Ethernet with us wherever we go, trust me, I would. I was trying to call the first half, and I was getting texts, trying to use my phone as a flashlight, and apparently folks will forget that I'm not only calling the game on the radio and on the web TV, but there's a lot that goes on in this broadcast. So I want to thank each and every one of them, but also Diana, I know it's a rough, and you can't please everybody, but I know you hung in there and did a great job tonight. And Brant, always bringing the flavor and the color and the stats. I appreciate you as well, partner.
Thank you, Chad.
Well, join me in the morning as so after we shut this down. Some of these late scores that didn't get reported final for the Saturday morning shoot-around. That's from 8 to 9 o'clock right here on this same station, KSWM AM 940. You can also stream it as well on radiotown.com. But I will be down there tomorrow from 8 to 9, and we'll go over all the local high school scores. Yes, NFL season has started. Week 2 of the NCAA football started, and oh yeah, the dog days of summer, the last 2 weeks of the summer, MLB races in the divisions are, for some of us, are still tightening up, and we'll talk about you Cardinal fans, but hey, I did avoid the broom last night with the win and one and not getting swept in Atlanta. But I tell you what, we are out of time. I appreciate Coach Pitts for coming up. All the sponsors throughout this broadcast, we couldn't do it without you folks, so if you do see them out and about in Aurora or around the surrounding area, please thank them for bringing you Hound Dog football on the Talon Network. So this is Chad Outlaw Jr. Estes for my partner Brent and Diana. I promise, folks, I'll see you on down the trail. That's a wrap.